Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So yesterday we have seen the definition and the example of first normal form. So just for a quick recap, we have seen that the first normal form does not allow multi-valued attribute, it does not allow composite attribute, and it does not allow nested relations. As an example, we have considered two examples. One was of multi-valued attribute, wherein in department table we had seen that department locations was the attribute which had multiple values for the same department. So what did we do to solve that? We decomposed the table into two parts. One table was department and second table was department locations, in which we separated the locations here. So now
Yes,
let us
ma'am.
see the second normal form. The definition of second normal form. Uh, we always used to write like this: a relation schema R is capital, any relation schema is called as R, is in second normal form. So it is written as 2NF. First normal form is written as 1NF. Second normal form is written as 2NF. So a relation is in second normal form if uh, see, it is my style of, we used to write like this: if it is already in first normal form, and so that means whenever we write the next normal form, we should write the definition as a relation schema R is in second normal form if it is already in first normal form, and this additional condition. What is the additional condition? It should have every non-prime attribute R, every non-prime attribute A in R is fully functionally dependent on the primary key. So what is meant by functional dependency and full functional dependency? We have already seen. Now, for example,
Ma'am.
yeah, it is like
Hello,
fluctuating.
ma'am.
My connection is fluctuating.
Ma'am, voice is breaking.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
ma'am.
what
Hello.
hello. Now,
Okay.
can you hear now?
Yes, ma'am. Now it is correct.
Yeah, fine.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So you can see the slide, right? Slide is visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So as per definition, a
Yes, ma'am.
schema, a relational
Only the
schema.
voice is getting like breaking, ma'am.
Oh. So मैं खिड़की उघडतेस. 1 second. Here we are going to see what is full functional dependency. So here we can see that in this example, hours indicate the number of hours an employee works on a particular project. You understood it? Hours indicate number of hours that a particular employee works on a particular
Project.
project. Employee can work on multiple projects. So a specific project on which employee works for specified number of hours. So hours is value for the hours attribute can be determined only when we know these two values. That means if you just take SSN, there may be multiple hours related to one SSN. For example, one employee, when he is working on multiple projects, so for each project he may have different number of hours, isn't it? So when we take only
Yes, ma'am.
SSN, we will not be able to show the unique value for hours. There may be duplicate values for hours. Similarly, if we take project number, only project number, then also will not be able to show the unique value for hours, because on one project there could be multiple employees, so each one is working on that project for different number of hours. So when we take only project numbers, still we will not be able to determine unique value for hour. There could be multiple values for a particular project, isn't it? So only when we
Yes.
take the combination of these two, that is a specific employee on a specific project, then the R's can be uniquely determined by this combination of values. So that is why this is called as R's. That is why it is called as R's has full functional dependency over this combination of values. Like now let us see this example. Look at the second example. Again, we have taken the same combination of values, that is SSN and P number. And here it is shown that it functionally
name.
determines E name. But do you agree with dependency? Yeah, dependency is there, that E name depends on SSN number. But do you see that whether it is fully functionally dependent? No. Suppose
No.
if I take only SSN number, still I'll be able to uniquely determine a particular employee, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Once I know the roll number, I'll be able to uniquely identify who is the student,
Name.
isn't it? So for that, I need
Yes, ma'am.
not have project number. So here you can say that e-name has full functional dependency only on SSN number. It is not fully functionally dependent on these two combination. So here you can say that for this for these two values, e-name is not fully functionally dependent. That is why e-name is not eligible to be in a particular table with this combination of primary key. Clear? So this is how
Yes.
we determine whether for every attribute, whether every attribute is fully functionally dependent on whatever is the primary key. There may be a single primary key or there may be a composite primary key. Normally, the second normal form, the problem will arise only for composite primary key. Clear? So whenever we have composite primary key, we have to check whether the remaining attribute is fully functionally dependent on the combination of values, or it is dependent only on one particular. Okay, for example, if I may give you a simple example, it may not be valid, but just to make you understand. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
I don't know why it is fluctuating. You tell me by chat the moment it fluctuates. Hmm?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So
Yes,
what
ma'am.
I'm telling is, suppose if a
Ma'am, screen
student,
is visible.
yes, if a particular student, or you can say group of student, is controlled by only CR, then LR is not required. So in that case, full functional dependency is not there. Clear? Anyway, don't let us not deviate from the textbook example. Let us stick to the same example, that here which is the valid full functional dependency, SSN, project number together determine Rs. So this is a valid example for full functional dependency. Now let us see one how to, suppose if it is asked for 5 marks, how to show the normalization. So whenever they ask us to explain normalization for 5 marks, first we have to show the unsatisfactory relation. That means we have to show the example of bad relation which is not normalized. Then we have to show with the process of normalization how we are converting it into valid relation. Clear? So for the
Yes, ma'am.
first example, we have seen that we have shown department table. Let us see for the second example, which second normal form, which example should we see? So here you can see that we are going to take this example of bad table, which is employee project. Of course, in reality, there is no table called as employee project, but here we are taking it as a dummy example. So employee project is a table which consists or it is a relation in which there are attributes such as SSN number is there, project number is there, Rs are there, then E name is there, then P name is there, and P location is there. Now we have to understand which is a primary key here. SSN number and P name, P number is a composite primary key. How do you understand that? By the underline. Can you
Hello.
understand? Can you? Yeah, hello.
Ma'am, sorry for interruption, but screen is not visible.
Yeah, one sec. Yeah, now
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry.
Yes,
So,
ma'am.
okay.
Yes,
So
sir.
I'll repeat from the second normal form. Yeah, second normal form, as per the definition, it says every non-prime attribute should be fully functionally dependent on the prime attribute. Now, what is a prime attribute? Prime attribute here you can say that it is a composite primary key, that you have two attributes together considered to be a primary key. So in this case, SSN and P number together, it is a primary key. Now we have to check whether every other attribute is fully functionally dependent on this. Clear? So
Yes, ma'am.
let us see. Suppose if we take Rs, we have seen in the previous example only, Rs
Ma'am.
is fully functionally dependent on this combination. Do you agree? That
Yes,
Rs can
ma'am.
be determined only when we have both
And
these
SSN
values.
number.
Yeah, both these values are required to uniquely determine the number of hours, isn't it? So hours
Yes,
is fully functionally dependent on this combination of values. Now let us see whether it is right for other attributes also. What about ename? Is ename fully functionally dependent on these two?
no.
No. Why? Because ename is dependent only on SSN. If you can look at this arrow, ename is
Yes, ma'am.
functionally full functional dependency only on SSN number. It doesn't require project number to uniquely determine any employee's name. We can determine employee name only by the SSN number, isn't it? So here is where
Yes.
the attribute ename is not fully functionally dependent on these two combination. So that means ename should be decomposed. Ename should be removed from this relation to bring it into second normal form. Clear? Do you understand?
Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
So now let us see the third, one more attribute. What about project name?
This
Project
it is
name,
dependent on the
yeah, it
project
is
number.
dependent on only on project number. It does not require SSN number, isn't it? If we have only project
Yes, ma'am.
number, I can uniquely determine project name, isn't it? So
Yes.
that's why
Yes,
project
ma'am.
name is also not valid to be in this particular table. It has. So now we have to also understand where is project name dependent on. It is dependent on project number.
Project number.
Clear? Then let us look at the next attribute called as P location. Project location. Project location can be determined once we know the project number, isn't it?
Project number.
We do
Yes,
not
ma'am.
require again SSN number
SS.
here. So again we see here project location is dependent only on the project number. So here we actually come across the three category of attributes. One category in which only Rs is there. Rs is the example of that
Fully
attribute which is
dependent.
fully functionally dependent on these two, isn't it? So Rs
Yes, ma'am.
is eligible to be in this group. So let us make one group of these three attributes. Then, so here you can see EP1. Can you
Yes.
see here? EP1
Yes, ma'am.
is the now okay. Here this is one particular relation which is a combination of attribute, but it is not ideal relation. It is a bad relation. So when we see that it doesn't follow, all the attributes do not follow the rules of second normalization, then the solution will be to split them up. So how will we split them up? First, we'll bring this group together because it is ideally fully functionally dependent. So this becomes one table. Now let us separate the other table. Employee name is fully functionally dependent on SSN number,
SSN
isn't it?
number.
So we will take
Yes.
SSN number and employee name as another group. Can you see a EP2?
Yes, ma'am.
So which is formed by SSN number and E name. Then there is third group. What is the third group? Project name and
P
project location. They are dependent on project number.
P number. Project number.
So here we take EP3 as the third group, wherein P number determines P name and P location.
P
So
location.
this is how now we can consider these three tables, the down one, EP1, EP2 and EP3. We can think of naming them properly. After we name them properly, we can consider that now we have brought this unnormalized employee project table into the second normal form. Clear with that?
Yes,
Is this
ma'am.
example clear to you? Only
Yes,
thing
ma'am.
during exam you have to remember that we are considering a bad table, which is employee project, in which there are attributes such as SSN number is there, project number is there,
P.
and RC is there. Then we have employee name, then we have project name and project
Project.
location.
Project location.
Yeah. If it is difficult for you to remember, you can even take only e-name, up to e-name. So these 4 attributes if you take, you can show that e-name is not fully functional dependent. So separate only this part. EP1 and EP2 you can show. Clear? So
Yes,
first you
ma'am.
have to show this part and say that it is not in second normal form. So you have to write there that to bring it into second normal form, we have to separate those attributes which are not fully functional dependent on this primary key, composite primary key. So e-name is one such attribute which requires only SSN number. So let us separate it with along with SSN number. And then again p name and p location are the attributes which are only dependent on project number. So let us separate these 3. So here again you can see that normalization is not a process of cutting, it is a process of logical decomposition. If we would have cut, we would have cut like this, isn't it? We would have cut project name and project location separately. Then we would have
Yes,
cut
ma'am.
only e-name separately. But only e-name is meaningless until unless we have SSN number with it. And only p name and project location is not useful until unless we have project number which uniquely determines. Clear? So this is
Yes,
how
ma'am.
we split it into second normal form. Is it clear? Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
So let us repeat the definition of second normal form. Second normal form, or a relation is said to be in second normal form if every non-prime attribute A in R is fully functionally dependent on the primary key.
Primary.
Is it clear? Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
So we have to also remember the definition, which will be separately asked for 2 marks. If asked for 5 marks, you have to also show the example. So example is employee project. Clear? Now let us look
Yes,
at the
ma'am.
definition of third normal form. Now for understanding third normal form, we have to learn one more definition.
तुझे सेकंड बेल्ट टायर रखली मग हा आई टाइम मारू सेकंड
What is
रोहित
the
दादा करते हम
definition?
करते
छोड़ दे क्या करना ते वो लागल तो फिरो
हाँ आई
Is it Deepika from your side?
तो
No,
हिशोब
ma'am.
लगड़ी
Ajay.
₹3 नसतं त्याचा टाइम
Yes, ma'am. Now it's muted.
Okay, fine. So now let us look at one more example definition, which is transitive functional dependency. So we have seen 3 examples related to functional dependency. One is normal functional dependency, then we have seen full functional dependency, and then we are going to see transitive functional dependency. Transitive means here, suppose a functional dependency X determines Z. Fine. When a functional dependency X determines Z, that can be derived from 2 functional dependencies. That X determines Y and Y determines Z. That is why X determines Z. If such dependency exists, then it is called as transitive functional dependency. Okay, to give you the example, in your class, suppose there is, suppose Chetan is CR, and then there is suppose one more, will take any boy, suppose Ajay is there, Chetan is there, Ajay is there. Tell me the name of any other boy. Abhinandan, suppose. Abhinandan is not joining, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So suppose Chetan is there. Now I'll show by annotations. So I will show here that there is Chetan here, then there is Ajay here, and then there is Abhinand here. Actually, I'm just giving a dummy example, okay? So actually, Abhinand is supposed to listen to Chetan. Clear? Abhinand is
Yes, ma'am.
supposed to listen to Chetan. But now, in fact, it may be the case like this, that Ajay listens to Chetan, clear? And Abhinand does not listen to Chetan. Abhinand listens to Ajay, clear? So here
Yes, ma'am.
it is Chetan and here it is Ajay, and difficult for me to write, and here it is Abhinandan. Are you able to understand? Abhinandan
Yes,
is
ma'am.
supposed to follow the instructions given by Chetan. But suppose Abhinandan doesn't do that, or Abhinandan is, suppose there is one rule which Chetan has announced, but Abhinandan is following that, but not because Chetan has told. Abhinandan is
Because
following
Ajay
that
has told.
because Ajay has told. Ajay followed Chetan, and because Ajay has told, Abhinandan follows Ajay. That's why Abhinandan is obeying Chetan indirectly, isn't
Yes.
it? But actually, which is
Yes.
the dependency? The dependency is not on Chetan. The dependency is on.
It is Ajay.
So such dependency is called as transitive dependency. Clear? So what does this
Yes, ma'am.
third normal form say? Okay, this is the definition of transitive dependency, that if X determines Z, and then uh, this functional dependency is internally, it is like that, that there is one more attribute called as Y in the same table, which is determined by X, and that Y determines Z. If such
Right.
dependency is there, this is called a transitive dependency. Now let us look at the table. Suppose there is a table, department in, or okay, suppose attribute SSN. What is SSN attribute? Social security number of every employee. It is same like employee number. Now SSN, that means one employee has got a manager. Isn't it? Every employee is managed by some manager. Like I had given you example that
Yes, ma'am.
all of us, we faculties are, I mean,
Ma'am.
governed by or supervised by HOD, that is Venugopal sir.
Yes, ma'am.
So
Yes.
here also every SSN, every employee has got a manager. So that means every employee is associated with MGR SSN, department MGR SSN, isn't
Yes,
it?
ma'am.
So every employee uh, is associated with some manager or some manager's SSN number. Why it is transitive dependency? Because it is something like this. Every SSN, every employee works for a department, and that department has one manager. Are you getting? Employee
Yes,
works
ma'am.
for a department, and that department is
That
managed by
department has
one.
one manager.
That is why this employees is managed by this particular person. Clear? Why
Yes, ma'am.
this particular employee is managed by another employee? Because this employee works for one particular department, and that department is managed by the particular another employee.
The manager.
That is why X is managed by Y. Clear? Suppose if we say SSN is X and this is Y. Because X works for a department and that department is managed by Y, so indirectly X is managed by Y. So such
Right.
dependency is called as transitive. Whereas this dependency like uh, SSN determines E name. This is not a transitive. This is non-transitive. Why? Because it is directly. There is no in between value on which SSN depends and E name depends on that. It is not like that. Here it is direct
Right.
dependency. So this is called as non-transitive. Clear? So for transitive, you
Yes,
have to
ma'am.
remember this. SSN is there and then MGR SSN is there. Now let us define the third normal form with this definition. A relation schema R is in third normal form if it is already in second normal form. So this is one primary. It is something like the student who comes to fourth semester, that means he should have already finished third semester, isn't it? So similarly,
Yes.
a relation schema R is said to be in third normal form if it is already in second normal form, and plus additional qualification. What is the additional qualification? No non-prime
No.
attribute. So here it is a negative sentence, so you have to understand it properly. No non-prime attribute A in R is transitively dependent on the primary key. That means there should not be any attribute which indirectly depends on primary key. There should be always a direct dependency. If there is indirect dependency, then it is better to split them up. It is something like this. Suppose in a class there should be unity, or in any particular,
Yes.
all countrymen should listen to one leader, isn't
Yes,
it?
ma'am.
Suppose if there is any intermediate leader to which some of the group listens to, and although that person, that particular intermediate leader listens to the main leader, but still this indirect dependency, sometimes it may not be useful. So what we can do, we can divide the countrymen into two parts. One group who directly listens to that, and another group who listens to that intermediate leader. So
Intermediate.
like this we can divide it into two parts. So the same principle we are going to apply here when we normalize the relation into third normal form. So we have to identify if there is any such attribute which does not directly dependent on primary key. If it is dependent on any intermediate key, we have to separate it along with that intermediate key. Clear with that? So
Yes,
let
ma'am.
us see the example. So we have that example here itself. If you just consider on the down part. Clear? So down
Yes,
we
ma'am.
have one bad relation or bad example called as employee department. What is the table? Bad table, employee department.
Employee department.
So employee department is one table which is actually a bad table. It is not in third normal form, so we have to bring it into third normal form. So why it is not in third normal form? Let us understand. So here the attributes are employee name we have, SSN number is there, birth date is there, address is there, then there is department number, then there is department name, and then there is department MGR
Department
SSN.
manager. Yes.
So here these are the attributes. Let us try to understand whether there is any transitive dependency or direct dependency. When we look at SSN number, it is direct, sorry, when we look at employee name, it is directly dependent on this primary key,
Oh, yes. Yes,
isn't
ma'am.
it? So there is no transitive. Directly if you take SSN number, each SSN number has got one associated name. So there is a direct dependency. Look at the birth date, again direct dependency. Look at address, it is that
Direct
employee's
dependent.
address, so direct dependency. If you take department number, it is the department number of that employee. That means that employee works for that particular department. Still there is a direct dependency. Now let
Dependence.
us look for this department name. If we look for department name, we have already have department number as a foreign key, isn't it? So
Yes, ma'am.
once SSN is associated with a particular department number, we can automatically identify the department name, isn't it? We don't have
Yes,
to
ma'am.
again put department name in the same table. Fine. So
Yes.
that means department name. Now there is a transitive dependency. Why? SSN works for a particular department with a specific
Department
number, and that department number has got a name.
name.
So D name has got a transitive dependency, that it actually depends on department number. D name is uniquely determined by the department number, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So it depends on this, and this department number depends on e-name. Depends on SSN number, isn't it? So there is a transitive. Similarly, MGR SSN, this SSN is or every employee is associated with a unique department. Unique department in the sense, when we talk about employee, we will not get confused about which department he works for. For example, if I take any student name from your class or maybe from 4A class, the moment I take the student's roll number, I'll not be confused that it belongs to A division or B division. I will know directly, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
So once I know the roll number, I'll be able to tell the division. But then for that, okay, so this is how, the moment I know SSN number, I'll be able to tell the department number. But to tell the department name, that means name of that department, I have to identify. Now it is like, I can give you another example. For here, just a minute, I'll be opening another document.